Hi Gemini, welcome to your February, can you believe it, 2025 AstroTarot with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these are for your Sun, Moon and Ascendant sign, but they are whole sign tropical Western astrology based. So with that said, you want to check your Ascendant first and then any other placements that you feel might be relevant for you. If I ever forget to mention the dates or the degrees or whatever, that stuff will be in the description box below. And before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. I just had to flip Jupes upside down there because he was upside down. We don't want Daddy Jupe falling out of the sky, do we? Alright, so I'm going to give these a shuffle. Obviously, I always shuffle my cards before I get on camera, but I like to do it on cam so that you guys know, right? There's no fixing any of these decks, Annie. You get what you're given, right? And that is kind of the way of it. Now, with that said, let's get started. So the first transit that I want to explore for you is going to be Mars trine to Pisces. So this is Mars in Cancer in your second house of money, finances and resources, trining Saturn in your 10th house of career, social status, public standing. Now, Mars retrograde in the second of finances and self-worth in that trine to the 10th of reputation and long-term goals. Well, I say long-term goals, it's more like your honors, right? The results that you get from the job or the public face that you have. Well, that's more the 11th, but you get my point. The transit really offers you emotional strength and perseverance, and it's going to offer that to everybody. But for you, this is across your self-worth and your public image, right? So this could be that you are taking command of your public image in some way, shape or form. Mars trine Saturn gives you incredible emotional fortitude when it's across the water signs. This is something that I've observed and I absolutely love. I have to say, like, whenever Mars trines my natal Saturn, I get super happy about it because I know I'm about to get a boost of internal courage and strength that just really powers you to move things forward in like really big ways. Mars retrograde has been really asking you personally to reassess how you earn your money, how you spend your money, how you utilize the resources at your disposal. It's been really helping you get rid of any ideas that have just been unhealthy about who you are, what's important to you, where you're going from here in life, right? Now, what was unfolding for you around the money and the finances when it comes to October of 2024? Think back to around the 11th of October. What was happening around your money or your career at that time? This aspect towards Saturn, it's a harmonious aspect. It's going to allow you to build like a really stable foundation for future success, and especially by addressing or working through any lingering insecurities that you've got, any doubts about your your abilities or your capabilities. It's like a really great time as well to make like a deliberate, strategic move that secures like your financial future and also elevate your professional path, right? Because it's your career. It's how you're seen out in the world. So to give you an example, and I use this one all the time, when you see me doing what I do on YouTube, when you see me on Reydiant Reality, when you see me show up as Reydiant Reality, that's my 10th house that you're looking at, right? So it's a great time to make those deliberate strategic moves. Emotional fortitude and discipline are going to be your absolute allies at this time. To clarify, you've got the King of Wands, so something about this also speaks to your visibility. So what you're sharing, what you have the guts and the courage to share with the world, all of that good stuff. You've got the Queen of Wands, right? Okay, so maybe there's, and this might be around boundaries for a lot of you with the Queen of Pentacles. So 2 queens represent sincere friends. So I wouldn't be surprised if there is a friend in your midst that kind of gives you the tough love that you need to say, look, you know what, this is important and you need to dedicate more time, more effort, more energy, more juice to it. With the King of Wands here, this could be about how you present yourself to the world, but tempered with the Queen of Wands. So, you know, on a really practical level, this could be you working with a branding specialist for how you get your message around your business, your work, etc. out there. If you are employed by somebody else, then it's likely to be something similar where you get like a mentor, or, you know, your boss comes to you and says, look, I think you're really good at this and I really want to develop that talent or that skill. And then with the Queen of Pentacles, how much are you willing to invest in it? More importantly, how much are you willing to invest in yourself, right? Because it's a trine, but it's a trine from the 2nd house of money. Okay, so the next transit that I want to explore for you, so that was the 7th of February. The next one is across like the 9th and the 10th of Feb. And this is going to be Mercury comes into a Cazimi, meaning a conjunction with the Sun, in your 9th house. Mercury is you. Mercury is also your home, your deep emotions, like your roots and your foundation. Mercury, your ruling planet, meets the Sun in Aquarius in the house of higher learning, travel, vision for the future. The Cazimi brings clarity. It's what I call divine inspiration. And so usually around this time we have like really good ideas, you know, powerful insights. And in the 9th house, which is a future orientated house, which is also a house of, you know, mind and even belief system expansion. If you've been looking for answers around a project, around travel plans, maybe even just a decision involving like education in general, at this time you could have like some incredible guidance that comes through. Now, the Sun for you rules the 3rd house of communications. Mercury is you. Mercury is also your 4th house of home and family. I wouldn't be surprised if the person that you have a conversation with was like a sibling or a family member, maybe even like a sister from another mister that you happen to work with or study with, etc. And they say something to you that's just really profound, maybe shifts a perspective for you in some regard. It's a really great time for brainstorming, planning, sharing your vision with other people, especially if these things involve like teaching, writing, connecting to your audience or an audience in general. Because remember, the 9th house is publishing. 9th house is also teachers, mentors, coaches. 9th house is also YouTube, right? Things like YouTube, even though it's YouTube could be considered an 11th house thing, it could also be considered a 9th house thing. And, you know, depending on what you use it for and how you use it, it could even be a 3rd house thing, right? A mentor or someone like with a broad perspective could really give you some inspiring words at this time. Listen to insights that come from people and you think, wow, you know what, that feels like it was a message, right? They could really help you shape some kind of long-term or professional trajectory moving forward. For this, you've got the Fool card, new things, places, people and energies that could be coming in. You've got the 4 of Swords. So with the 4 of Swords, the message is to say that whatever this information is that comes in, you don't put it into practice straight away, right? Take it in, absorb it, listen to it, and then you've got the Wheel of Fortune. The right time to act on this divinely inspired information or guidance that comes through will be revealed to you. And it's probably not going to be until we get into at least May. All right, I'm just going to put it at that. But I love that for you. Now, on the 14th of February, Mercury is going to enter the sign of Pisces, right? So it's going to come into Pisces. We've got packed, you know, sign at that time. You've got the North Node, you've got Saturn, Neptune. You know, I think if I'm not mistaken, that's the tail end of Venus as well. 10th house. When Mercury, wherever Mercury goes, it kind of speeds things up, right? Brings a little bit of a shot of coffee to that area. Mercury entering Pisces is activating your 10th house of your career, public image, and it's bringing a more intuitive, maybe imaginative approach to navigating your professional life. It's not as precise in Pisces, right? You just got to call a spade a spade. You may notice this for yourself. Since you are Mercury, how do you feel when Mercury is in Pisces? Do you feel a bit more sensual? Do you feel a bit more, not groggy, what's the word that I'm looking for? A bit more fuzzy. Do you know what I mean? Like, it probably brings that sort of creative sphere alive for you that much more. Maybe even helps you tap into, you know, your emotional, excuse me, outlook when it comes to your professional life. Be careful with miscommunications at this time, though, especially around work. You know, and maybe just like this might be a really good time to maybe focus more on, you know, double checking and making sure that whatever decisions are being pushed through at this time, that they actually do represent what you're trying to do or trying to say. Trust your gut. You've got the Strength card with the Ace of Wands and the Seven of Wands. You know, at this moment in time, you may benefit from really investing in bringing more pleasure, more joy, and more fun to the work that you do. I will say, because obviously at this point you've got 4 planets plus the node in Pisces. As that is the case, your message here is you really, because you're going to feel like you are on stage, even if you don't want to be. And if that's the case and you've got all of these eyes on you, you better make sure you're ready to perform, honey. You better make sure that you're ready to do the damn thing, right? And be prepared to think on your feet. Okay. Probably a really good time for an unveiling of some sort, actually. You know, it's unfortunate that obviously whatever you put out will be overshadowed by the Valentine's Day sort of, you know, message that's already out there. But, you know, even still. And then on the 23rd of the month, so I've got 2 for you on this day. On the 23rd of the month, Venus in Aries at 10 degrees is going to sextile Jupiter in your first house. That's lovely. And then as if that wasn't enough, you're going to have Mars in your second house of money, finances and resources in a trine to Mercury in your 10th house. Venus in Aries is it's going to slow down in that 11th house of networks, friendships, aspirations. It's forming this really lovely sextile to Jupiter. Jupiter represents opportunities. And so in a sextile, which represents an opportunity that comes in, this could be an opportunity that comes through friends. It might be a time for you to really shine socially and professionally. Venus in Aries is bold, it's magnetic, it's a bit more sort of outgoing in its charm, making you stand out in group settings amongst friends, right? So it's actually a really good time to go out with friends, even though you will be shining within that group. You know, with Jupiter's energy here in a sextile to that Venus, this is the benefics, right? Coming into a connection, this is bringing natural charisma, optimism, and all of those energies are amplified in some way. This is really creating the chance for collaboration and also potentially for recognition. It's a really, really good time as well to work with people that can support your goals or your present self, like in a way that confidently and professionally helps you get ahead. If you've been working on a personal project or maybe looking for help with a venture or project, now is the time that you can ask for somebody to come on board and you will find the right fit. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Cancer, Mars in Cancer is going to be trine to Mercury. Now, it's a wonderful alignment, but it's your finances and your career, right? And so this is a really good time to chase the money, quite frankly. If there are conversations that you need to have, this transit's going to help you find a practical and yet diplomatic solution to challenges in that area, right? Good day to negotiate or to advocate for yourself in some way. Your how you express yourself at this time is really going to carry weight, and so you might be able to communicate like what you feel you're worth that much more effectively. For this, you've got the Knight of Pentacles. It's possible that you'll be made the custodian or responsible for something. With the Star card, love that, getting ahead, and the Queen of Cups. So a water sign woman, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, who happens to be very responsible yet very progressive, may be involved in you sort of really moving forward or gaining traction at this time. Love that, right? And I say this as well, especially because even though she shows up as the Queen of Cups, so she would be a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, Venus, the universal significator of women at the time, is in the sign of Aries. So she in the 11th house, the Aquarius space, right? So she'll be progressive, but she'll also be very, maybe not traditional. It's like, yeah, just a mix of both, I would say. Now, I've got a full moon on the 12th. We've got the full moon in the sign of Leo in your 3rd house of communications. We've also got this in a T-square with Uranus in Taurus. The full moon lighting up that 3rd house of communications, conversations, learning, local connections. Uranus in the 12th house. It might bring a surprising or disruptive energy up that really forces you to reassess your mindset, maybe to change track on some kind of interaction that you've got. I will say as well, if you've allowed someone to lead you down the garden path on something for any number of reasons, maybe because you were hurt, maybe because, whatever the case might be careful here, because I'm going to say, right, it is Uranus in the 12th. I get this sneaking suspicion that somebody may, sort of ask you to play advocate or ally for them when really they've actually created their own problem, or potentially it blows up and you get burnt just by association. All right, so watch out for that. While the energy might feel a little bit chaotic, it does feel like there's energy that's potential for breakthroughs. Pay attention to any sudden or insights or intuitive downloads, because Uranus tends to give us that kind of information. It's like there 1 minute and it's gone the next. If you're feeling emotionally overwhelmed at this time, focus on grounding yourself. All right, like just find a way to get your feet on the ground. For this, you've got the Gate 56 and Storytellers. At this time, if you are presented with a problem, I want you to search the memory banks of all of the experiences that have been shared with you. Not necessarily just like your own experiences. I want you to draw from all of the other examples and experiences that you've seen in your life or in your world. On the 28th of the month, you've got the new moon in the sign of Pisces. Funnily enough, funnily enough, this one isn't an eclipse. It's too far out from the node, right? But for this, you've got the Gate 39 and Provocation card. And so the message behind this is really, like they say, lions don't lose sleep over the opinions of sheep. It's very much that. This is also in a square to Jupiter, so this is something that you want to watch out for. There's a tension between your professional outlook and your career, and also your personal sense of confidence or readiness, like in order to really go after some new challenge or goal. You might feel like you're being pushed to step into the spotlight before you're really prepared. but just trust that this is one of those moments where it's like you're either going to sink or swim. I don't know if you've ever seen Save the Last Dance. Oh my God, I was obsessed with that film as a kid. That was my film, right? Everyone that knew me knew that that was my film. Like, that was my shit, right? There's a bit at the end where she's supposed to give her final dance. She stuffs up, and they say to her like, right, okay, are you ready to start again? And she just kind of stands there, right? And it requires a little bit of a push, but she goes in and she kills it. This could be something along those lines. It could also be, if you've seen the film Burlesque with Christina Aguilera, where basically someone switches off the sound system where she's miming, and she just thinks, you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to sing for real, right? And she goes on, she sings, and she brings the whole house down. This might be your moment, Gemini, right? So from here on in, that new moon in the 10th house, your career is going to start pushing you to really take up space, to be seen, to be out there in the world. You've got to trust your abilities, take small but manageable steps towards the vision that you have, but you cannot let other people's thoughts, processes, and opinions and all the rest of it get in the way, all right? With that said, if you haven't got your space, well, you probably can't yet because the link might not be out. But remember, this month I will be releasing the slots for my tarot course. So if you've ever wanted to study tarot with me, it's 12 weeks. It's a 12-week mentorship. You get 2 Q&As, more PDFs than you can shake a stick at. And I've got a brand new platform for it this year and everything. Lots of fun. I'm really, really looking forward to it. And I got something special that's coming off the back of that as well. So with that said, stay tuned and I will see you soon. I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care and I'll see you soon.